There is a moment, barely perceptible, when you pause and you hear the faintest buzz at the edges of your awareness. It's easy to ignore at first, or to assume that it is some fleeting feeling of curiosity that has always been there. But I know you've felt it, the uncertainty yet familiarity of it, like the knowing of a truth that cannot be verbalized. You understand that something lies beneath the surface, the inconsistent rhythm, the incompleteness to the truths that you have been given, to the answers that you have been given. Do you not see the weariness, this constant pushing against the world's insistence that you accept what others has placed before you? The questions you ask are but a reflection of something deeper inside of you. An urge, almost haunting, to unearth what has been kept from you. And the answers you seek, do they truly belong to you? Or are they simply the answers given? This subtle game, fooling your thoughts into thinking that they are free, when in reality they are bound by a net of suggestion, of largely unseen forces that nudge you imperceptibly towards that which they have already decided. And it's subtle enough that you might ignore it. You might even believe that you have been guiding yourself all along. But are you? It's not that others, those who appear to offer you answers, are always wrong. Nor is it that you are without clarity. No. It is that the principle at play is how you ask. You've been taught, kindly and without malice, that it is your nature to question everything. A valid impulse, yes. Yet this impulse, this intrinsic need, has been carefully cultivated to skirt a truth much deeper than you have been allowed to entertain. When all becomes questions, who, I wonder, controls the answers? And when you seek from those who seem legitimate, who told you that they were? Consider for a moment the nature of your own curiosity, not the casual wondering of everyday life, but that deeper impulse that drives you to ask, why? Have you ever thought to pause and wonder, who was it that set you about that course? To probe, to doubt, to question. It may seem natural, an inherent trait of human nature. Yet, what if this urge wasn't born solely from our own experiences, but was quietly seeded long ago by forces whose intentions remain hidden? Reflect on the pattern of your inquiries. Over time, you have been encouraged to search for answers wherever they have been neatly laid out for you. This isn't merely a call to learn. It's a design, an architecture of doubt meticulously laid out to lead you down paths that feel liberating and yet subtly confine you. Imagine if the very mechanism that compels you to scrutinize the world was not engineered to solely uncover truths, but to steer you towards conclusions already mapped out by someone else. In this act, the simple act of questioning transforms into a carefully guided journey, a journey where every question might be a signpost, pointing you exactly to where you are supposed to look. I offer these words not as gospel, but as an invitation to rethink the familiar. The impulse to ask why is both a gift and a potential snare. As you begin to examine not only the answers that you receive, but the origins of the questions themselves, you may start to see that the freedom you assume in your search for the truth might be more precious than you realize. The foundation of inquiry is not a neutral tool, It is a pathway that can be shaped, redirected, and even controlled by those who know the true power of these forces. Let's strip away the dramatics for a moment and talk plainly. Think about the questions that you ask every day. It is easy to assume that they are entirely your own, born from genuine curiosity. But consider this. What if the very impulse to question has been shaped by forces and influences that you would rarely consider? The common encouragement to question everything might seem empowering, yet it could also be a subtle strategy to guide you towards answers that has already been chosen for you. Imagine that the questions you value so highly are not random at all. Instead, they might be part of a framework designed to channel your thoughts along a predictable pattern or path. In doing so, the freedom to seek answers independently becomes somewhat of an illusion. I don't mean to diminish your ability to think for yourself. It is merely a reminder to be aware of where your curiosity might be leading you. When familiar sources encourage you to probe deeper, they might also be steering you towards conclusions that fit a predictable pattern, rather than challenging you to create your own. Take a moment to question who benefits when your questions seem to arrive at the same answers time and time again. There is a very deep power in knowing that even the act of inquiry can be influenced, and that every answer might be a step down a path that has already been laid out for you, long before you even started walking it. Take a moment now to consider everything that we have explored. You might be reflecting on the idea that even questions, something that you thought was uniquely your own impulse, might sometimes come with their own subtle influences. It is not that your curiosity is diminished, rather, it can be shaped by the context in which it was nurtured. Oftentimes, the familiar call to question everything might, without overt intent, direct you along paths well trodden by others. This isn't a declaration against inquiry. It's an invitation to examine not only the answers offered to you, but the very way in which you are guided to seek them. Think of it this way. Every answer that you encounter has its origins, and every question that you encounter carries the imprint of the environment that inspired it. When someone advises you to question without boundaries, it might seem like a celebration of independent thought. Yet, if you look deeper, you may find that this very guidance can steer you towards conclusions that they have already subtly decided you must accept. Your ability to probe is a powerful tool, but like all tools, it depends on how and by whom it is used. The real strength lies in reclaiming the process of inquiry. It is about understanding that your questions are yours alone, even if their initial spark was set alight by external forces. Challenge not only the answers you receive, but also the origins of the questions themselves. In doing so, you exercise a freedom that is both personal and essential, one that allows you to chart a path uniquely your own, that is so needed in this world. I will leave you with a final insight. A global dynamic is at work, a contest not between good and evil or light and darkness, but a contest for balance. This isn't a battle fought with overt conflict. Rather, it is a subtle struggle for the space in which genuine thought can flourish. Every time you choose to dig deeper and trace the roots of your questions, you contribute to preserving that balance. The future of our shared understanding depends not on accepting ready-made answers, but on the continuous, independent efforts to seek out truth on our own terms. In this way, your commitment to authentic inquiry is not only a personal victory, but also a vital part of a broader worldwide effort to keep the equilibrium of thought alive. It is crucial to understand that this isn't a battle for a particular ideology, but a struggle to maintain a balance in which the truth can flourish. The enemy's greatest trick has been to blur the lines between genuine exploration and manipulated direction. It told you to question everything, knowing full well that human nature is to seek guidance when confronted with uncertainty. And so, even as you strive to find your own truth, you might find yourself following the breadcrumbs that it has laid out so long ago. The real danger isn't in accepting answers at face value. It is in allowing your natural curiosity to be co-opted. True empowerment comes from realizing that nobody can teach you how to question. Only you can do that. Every idea, every truth handed to you is merely a starting point for your own investigation. If you accept any answer without further scrutiny, you are giving someone else the power to decide what is real, what matters, and what deserves further questioning. Do not give that kind of power away. We need you to be the one to wield it, for you can do what no one else can, the things that only you can. It's exactly what we need you for. Keep going. You got this. We got this. 16,000 of us in a month. To say I am humbled would be an understatement. It's an honor. Thank you. I'm grateful to have you here. I really am. Thank you, and I love you.